Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, North Auto Reviews. And if you're wondering who I am, well, it is Charles North the 6th, and I'm coming at you from my car right now. This car I'm in, before you ask, is a Scion TC 2005, and her name is Suki. Because yes, I am the type to name my cars. Now, I have experience across 3 different, let's say, websites. And on top of it, I work at an auto parts store. So, there's that. I formerly wrote for topspeed.com as a driven review automotive journalist, as well as hot cars. But I was a listicle journalist, but I still wrote reviews in that form. And what I would like to do with this channel is bring you tips on your car maintenance, things to do, things not to do, and just advice about your own car. And then eventually I would love to get to reviews. That being said, welcome. That's pretty much it. Now, if you'd like to know a little further, I started thanks to Jeremy, James, and Richard from Top Gear writing my reviews. I wrote them on the website called drivetribe.com. And in doing so, I ended up experiencing a lot of cool things. I have met a lot of cool people, made a few friends, but I've been out of it since the website closed. When the website closed in 2022, I went over to Hot Cars. I was writing my list reviews there. From Hot Cars, I went to Top Speed because they were looking for driven review journalists. So I was getting press cars all the time. And in there, in between, I'd write about car stuff. Now it's been a few years, and I want to get back into it because, well, I'm now comfortable in front of a camera, to say the least. So, that's what I'm bringing to you. A video version of myself. And in this channel, I'm not necessarily going to be censored for the most part. And the one thing I would like to advise with this first video, mainly customers, people maintaining their cars, is that your vehicle is only as reliable as you. Meaning, the car is only as reliable as its owner. Now, given that my car is at 58,000 miles this one, it's one owner, got it dirt cheap, it's pretty much a Toyota Corolla. I find value that it is great. Handles well, sporty as it can be. There's a competition against the Honda Civic at the time, and it's a manual transmission, forcing me to always be involved with the vehicle. I always prefer manuals over anything else. I also have a BMW, which I love, but it's the family car now. And I have an Explorer that's been sitting in the driveway for quite some time, and it needs to be either sold or given some TLC. No, a lot. Now, if you'd like in the comments, I do plan on answering these questions that you may have. Don't ask me any stupid questions, but I'll answer as many honestly and openly as I can. And then there's the parts store. I've been working at the parts store for some years. It's my second job because we all know in this economy, it sucks for the average worker. So when I'm going to be giving my reviews, it's not necessarily going to be, you know, rainbows and ponies. I'll be looking at those reviews from a consumer perspective, like I always have. Just a little less flashy and a little bit more gritty. But as a parts person, I get to deal with the general public when it comes to their vehicles. And for you watching this and are one of those people, you need to stop being so damn cheap with your car. Because, again, it reverts back to car's only as reliable as its owner. I'm talking to you who have Chryslers or FCA products, and the car requires an AGM battery, and you still want to go buy the cheap battery and wonder why you're not having any good luck with your darn car. Well, it's because you were so cheap with your battery purchase. When you have that, you have a whole lot more issues you have to deal with. And then you have people who don't necessarily know better, and there's a grace period of that, or there's some grace involved. They buy a new battery, and then it dies after a little bit because it turns out that their battery needs to be programmed. I'm talking to mainly you, FCA, Chrysler, BMW, Volkswagen, and almost any European car made within the past 20 years, at least. So, if you have one of those vehicles and you bought a new battery and you're wondering why your battery is going to shit, that's probably why. And in turn, you're killing your alternator. And for the other people, stop throwing parts at your car. Get it properly diagnosed by a mechanic that you trust and get it fixed. If your mechanic doesn't know what's wrong with it, then you need to go to a better mechanic. That is just brutal honesty there. Because your mechanic should know everything about the car. Especially if you've been taking your car to the same mechanic for years. So, if you don't, just take it to the dealership, bite the bullet. Yes, dealership prices suck, but in the long run, it's going to save you the money. So, that is that. Now, on the other hand, if you want to buy cheap spark plugs and wonder why your fuel economy is crap, there you go. If you're not necessarily buying the spark plugs for your car, you're going to run into issues. And anything European, don't buy aftermarket, especially German. My BMW did not like me putting an aftermarket mass airflow sensor in it, and it sucked. You have to actually buy the brand of mass airflow sensor that came with your car. So I believe mine is Continental, so I have to go and buy a Continental mass airflow sensor. God forbid whenever that happens. And with the O2 sensors, yeah, they can cost you a pretty penny. So, and if you're wondering about what car to buy next, it literally almost depends on what you want, mainly. There are some cars out there that are crap, but I think almost all cars could be crap, depending on the owner. If you're buying it brand new, and if it goes to crap in some time, it's because you probably poorly took care of it. Or if you're an Uber driver and you're prematurely killing your car. And when I mean Uber driver, I mean anybody who does that rideshare crap. Anybody who does the DoorDash and all that other stuff, because you're sitting there idling for nothing. And that's putting wear and tear on your engine. You don't realize it because your mileage isn't going up. That's why. So I will be honest with you and tell you, stop doing that. At least stop idling. Or stop wondering why nothing's working out for you because your car sucks. You also didn't probably buy the right car anyway for that kind of work. What you need to do is you need to go to warehouses and see what kind of forklifts they're using, because they're the ones that take the heavy toll. If they seem familiar, like, I don't know, a Toyota, then a Toyota probably is for you if you want to do some DoorDash stuff, even if it's used. Because we have some forklifts there at my first job, and they just take the abuse. And they're 4 cylinders. They run on propane, but they still run on 4 cylinders. And they're durable as all hell. So, it's driver error. Literally all your issues as a driver that you have with your car are pretty much your fault. And then you have the suckers out there that go and buy the shitty battery for their car because they're getting rid of it. Or they buy the shitty parts because they're trying to fix it and flip it. That's the stuff you need to look out for. And I've been doing a lot of, not necessarily research, but a lot of mental notes that all you flippers out there buying these salvage cars, you're the ones that are also causing the problems for these people that are trying to be not necessarily frugal with their money, but they're just trying to spend it right. And you guys and gals are screwing them over. So there's some tips there for you in this episode, especially coming from the inside. So even some dealerships in the area will buy cheap so they can sell their car. I had it where a local dealership near me bought the wrong battery for their truck that they sold, and I told them, hey, that's the wrong battery, and they didn't care because they were looking to sell it that night. So yeah, be wary of what your car requires when you go buy it. And yes, take a trained mechanic with you, because even the dealerships, not the automotive dealerships like Volvos and stuff like that, or Subaru, they're not the ones really screwing you over. It's the other dealerships that sell used cars down the street. You know, you got the people who are selling the salvage cars, and you got the people who are selling the used cars that they're being traded in for other cars. You just got to watch out for them, because they're the ones that are screwing you over in the long run, and you're going to have car troubles. I don't trust them. Buy a certified pre-owned car, or just buy whatever from an actual dealership, because they're actually doing the right stuff, because their mechanics are properly trained and paid for the most part. Some dealerships actually they hire people off of people from, I would say, a certain mechanic chain that kind of rise with Bep Toys. So stay away from anybody of that, and stay away from the mechanic stuff that rhymes with Bep Toys. So they just suck in general. They're you know, they hire anybody. Most of those chain mechanics hire. You want to go to local. Local are the actual people who are dedicated to making sure your car runs properly. The other people are just hired off the street. So just stay to your local mechanic, not those stupid brain dead idiots at those chain mechanic shops, because they no longer provide the type of service that you really want. That's pretty much that there. I hope to bring on some stuff. I hope to be able to do some mechanic stuff on this channel. I hope to bring to life a couple things. You know, I got a lot of plans in this future. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I will love to answer them. And pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much going to be my first video here on YouTube for Norse Auto Reviews. Yeah, so if you like this, if you enjoyed it, and you want to see the future content come up, I plan on trying to upload as much as I can. On my car ride from work to work, I'll be making these videos, so look out for some of them on a daily or so basis, maybe a weekly basis or bi-daily basis. I don't know, depends. I will have them up though at least once a week. So, and I could do more if you ask me more questions. I'll answer them personally via video. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And have a good one.